How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff, not just Red Hood. We cover plenty of manga here on the channel. Anyway, getting into it, we got chapter 15 today, so you know it's a good day. And yeah, the mayor is just absolutely ridiculous. So we start off, woo, yay, we finally did it. Everybody won. We're all hunters now. Great, good job, awesome. We immediately cut over to the mayor and Cinderella. They're talking about the fact that Velo made it. He's a hunter now. That's good. That means the Hunters Guild is finished. So who's going to go take care of things? The mayor says, I'll do it. You take a nap for now. The witch ends up looking over and says something to Lycaon, the big gigantic werewolf that we had seen previously. And he's not there. Now, it's not hard to see him. It's hard for him to hide. He's gigantic. On top of this, Cinderella doesn't know who he is. She stops for a second and goes, wait, who's Lycaon? So that immediately threw me off because he has disappeared and now Cinderella's memory is messed up and doesn't even remember who he is. So yeah, that is a little bit strange, but it's not the only time something like that's going to happen this chapter. So Debonair's congratulating everybody, telling them they did a great job, all of this stuff. Grimm asks, like, what about all the people I knocked out downstairs? Debonair explains, well, they're not in handcuffs and they're not in jail, so technically they passed. There's no rule against being knocked out. So yeah, good for them. They also state that it's okay. We can always test them again later if we want. That gets the attention of a couple people who just passed the test. Like, wait, what? No. That little kid is the only reason I passed. If he's not here next time, I'm not passing next time. I'm not doing that again, okay? I'm keeping my badge. I will run if I have to. I don't care. Debonair also looks up at Grimm because Grimm is back in chibi form and Debonair just has her riding on top of her shoulders kitty style. She looks up and says, Velo's distribution plan dealing with the cuffs worked brilliantly, didn't it? That means the scenario you wrote out worked. Wait a minute again. So now Grimm was writing scenarios out? And we immediately cut to Tilty talking to the prison guard guy that was really being nice and chatty with Velo and stuff. Turns out he was the guy that Tilty ended up fighting with a lot during Tilty's last exam, where he talked about how the trust fell out and they ended up working against each other and it all just fell to crap. Well, turns out that both him and Tilty kind of started getting tunnel vision near the end. He says Tilty even tried to murder him, so, I mean, yeah, Tilty has no chill apparently. But eventually they both kind of come to understandings and realize that, they both didn't handle things the greatest. After this, we cut back over to Grimm real quick, and Grimm responds to Debonair talking about writing out that scenario, and Grimm doesn't know what she's talking about. So, Cinderella did not remember who Lycaon was. Grimm does not remember anything about writing a scenario out. This obviously gets Debonair's attention, and Velo tries asking Grimm, alright, so I'm a hunter now, what's this whole plan for all the werewolves? I want to know all this stuff now. Grimm tries to tell him, but Debonair says, alright, first thing, we're going to get some interviews. So two people we thought were hunters examinees come walking up. Turns out they were actually full-fledged hunters that were just playing the role to watch with some extra eyes, really see how everybody was handling things. So yeah, Debonair takes Grimm back to the room, and she's going to try and get this stuff figured out. Velo notices that they are finally starting to arrive at Citadel Site Hunter's headquarters, and this place just looks absolutely wild. It's got these tree branches that are growing into a connecting circle in front of it, and two gigantic pillars with this mechanical looking stuff in the middle of the circle. I don't know, it looks wild. I want to actually explore this place a little bit, but we might not really get an in-depth look at this place right now. Shit might be going down. But yeah, starting with shit going down, that starts with Cinderella finding a letter in her sleeve. This letter was from Lycaon. It says, I am Lycaon. This letter was protected. If you do not know who I am and do not see a giant werewolf standing next to you, kill that man and take his pages back immediately. Talking about the mayor. Cinderella's still up on her broom, reading this, freaking out. It also says his true goal is, and then it cuts off, but you can clearly see by Cinderella's reaction, her words, facial features, everything, that something that he is trying to do is not matching up with what she wants to do at all, and she's not happy about what this old coot, her words, is trying to do. So Debonair and Grimm are in Debonair's room. toss her on the couch, like, you lay there for a little bit, grabs the phone, calls headquarters, like, hey, Grim of the 100 Cannons has memory issues, her memory's gone, we need a team here stat to handle this. The guy on the phone, turns out his name is Dut Troidel, strange name, but yeah, he's the director of the collections department of Hunter's HQ. He says, we cannot do that, we are setting the ironworks on quarantine, this is a corrosion level, whatever, strict, yeah, like strict level 5, like shit's getting locked down. So nobody's going out there to help. He hangs up the phone. Debonair has no idea what's going on. She's somewhat baffled. Well, first we go back to the top of the ironworks to see the little conversation they're having with the new hunters about werewolves, telling them that lycanthropy is a disease that changes humans into werewolves after a certain number of genetic factors build up in the body, and then after a werewolf that was previously a human eats another human, they can never turn back. So getting werewolves live preferably, but even dead to test on, will help them to figure out what is causing this disease. So that's something they would like them to try and do sometimes, because, well, Grim always just blows them apart, and not a whole lot you can do with bits and pieces, I guess. But yeah, so cutting back to Hunters Guild HQ, Dut Troidel, the guy we just got introduced to, walks into this dark room with this shady cloaked figure and a book and a little feather pen. Dut Troidel had also told Debonair over the phone that their top priority is to protect the book. Bold letters, the book. So, I mean, it's a big deal. Now we see this shady cloaked figure with a book and a pen. This is the book. And he's asking, like, what's going on? What's happening here? The cloaked figure says that it's natural for things that aren't written in the book to happen. But Grim's situation is different. Somebody else is editing the outline. This book is also the book that tells the future of the world. The blank pages of this book are the future. It sets up the structure of the world and everything. This book, is like the most central, important piece of anything in the entire world ever. This thing is massive. And somebody 13 years ago ripped out 2 pages of this book, and that event is now starting to take effect. They are now starting to change things to their whims. So this is when everybody notices the mayor walking up on the ironwork. The hunters that were previously acting as examinees, they are sitting there obviously being defensive, trying to figure out who this guy is. So at least we know the mayor isn't so famous that he's recognizable throughout all of Hunters, even though we know he used to be a hunter. So Velo obviously pops up like, whoa, no, this is the mayor. He's like family to me. He saved me. Like he's great. He's an awesome guy. But mayor, why? What happened? What was going on? Mayor tells me, he goes, I'm sorry, but I had to fake my death. It was just a necessary deception. If I was to take Grim of the 100 Cannons out of her role as the main character and put the hunter Velo, you, there in her stead. And with this, everything will be complete. And he opens up a portal to that underground office that Dut Troidel and that cloaked figure were in with the book, grabs Velo, hops through the portal, and he is now standing in front of the book with, and I mean, I have no idea what is about to happen. This is wild. On top of this, Dut Troidel looks around and says, who are you? And he says, it's been a long time. Let me tell you a story. 500 years ago, dragons flew the skies, but the hunters exterminated all of them. That is a story that I wrote 500 years ago. Bro, what? Excuse me? Okay. Who in God's name is the mayor? Who is this cloaked figure? How long has this book been around? Has this thing been around since the beginning of time? What? This is wild. This chapter didn't have me like jumping up and down hype. This chapter had me sitting there with a hand on my temples like, alright, hang on, let me go pick up all the pieces of my brain real quick and put them back together so I can, get through the next 3/4 of this chapter, and then I had to repeat that process every quarter of the chapter. This was wild. This was insane. This wasn't even like, this isn't a bunch of action going on. I don't understand how a chapter can be slow-paced like this and still blow my mind this much. For chapter 15. I don't understand how this series isn't more popular. I really don't get it. This shit's wild. I love it. I can't wait to figure out more. I gotta figure out what the hell's going on with the mayor. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment. I hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Oh my god, this is crazy. I'm out.